We've discussed 3 different types of molecules that comprise the body: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and now we'll discuss the last of them, the nucleic acids, better known as DNA and RNA. We'll start with this little table here, just kind of showing the difference and similarity between DNA and RNA. What do we want to say here? So nucleic acids are composed of carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. You're going to see a phosphate group here. These are the largest molecules of the body. When we look at the way that these work, the nucleotide is the structural unit of the nucleic acid. Let's take a look at this here. So this here is DNA, and I can tell that because it has a T there. If you look at the qualities that are different between RNA and DNA, DNA is made of the bases. These are nitrogenous bases called adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine, A, G, C, and T. RNA has the bases adenine, guanine, cytosine, and uracil. So with DNA, it's a thymine. With RNA, it's a uracil, or a U. So when you see this kind of a thing, and it has a T in it, or several T's, then you know that that's DNA. Okay, so when we take a look at this, this here is what we call a nucleotide. The nucleotide it has 3 components. We have a pentose sugar, a 5-sided sugar. You might recall deoxyribose, and then ribose. So the sugars here, deoxyribose for DNA, ribose for RNA, and there it is. There's our deoxyribose. This entire structure here would be the nucleotide here, and a nucleotide here. You'll notice this one is kind of upside down. There's a reason for that. Okay, so we have the sugar, our pentamer sugar. And then, what else to do? Oh, okay, so there's the phosphate group. Hey, take a look at that. A phosphorus surrounded by 4 O's. There it is. And you'll notice there's negative charges on there. That'll come up later on. Don't worry about that. And there's a phosphate group on there. And then also we have a nitrogenous or nitrogen-containing base. And there's the base. Here, this is adenine. This one is thymine. Okay, so the structure of DNA is a double-stranded polymer. Double-stranded, 2 across the way, containing the nitrogenous bases A, T, G, and C, and the sugar deoxyribose. We actually don't have a picture of RNA here, which is unfortunate, but RNA is a single-stranded polymer. It contains the nitrogenous bases A, G, C, and U, and the sugar in that case is going to be called ribose. DNA is the genetic material of the cell. It's found within the nucleus. RNA is not found within the nucleus. It's actually found outside of the nucleus, usually. At least the ones that we usually deal with, which would be ribosomes, are found outside of the nucleus. And also mRNA transcripts are found outside of the nucleus. We'll talk about all that stuff down the line. When we look at the way that attractions occur across the lattice work of DNA, it's very specific. Adenines are always attracted to thymines. Cytosines are always attracted to guanines. So A to T, C to G, A to T. T, here we go, C to G, G to C, T to A. I don't know what else I have to say about that right now. I don't think really much of anything. In the case of RNA, the adenine would be attracted to the uracil. I guess that's kind of what I wanted to say about all that. Yeah, DNA is pretty well known. It is the genetic material of the cell. We're going to be talking a little bit more in Chapter 3 about DNA and how it, we'll talk about that central dogma of biology, DNA, RNA, and an amino acid structure that folds to make a particular protein. All right, so that's it for the DNA. That's it for the 4 structures that comprise the body: carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and nucleic acids, these guys right here.